Alam mo kung bakit laging first honor sila? Meron silang template. Yung mga rebelde, repeater, yung mga baksak, walang template yan. Diskarte lang ng diskarte yan. So after 4 years, labas na sa college, nag-valedictory address pa yan, pagtapak niya into the world, walang template. Eh yung rebelde, yung siraulo, yung repeater, pagtapak ngayon sa mundo, natural environment nila yan. Hindi na kailangan ng diploma. Diskarte lang. Ang problema ko dyan, yung nagtuturo ng ganyan, pag nagkaroon siya ng brain tumor, mapapa-opera pa siya sa isang brain surgeon na walang diploma pero magaling dumiskarte. What is passive learning? You learn from everything. Yung curiosity at wonder mo, hindi nawawala. Ang kulit-kulit na mga yan. Tanong ng tanong, tanong ng tanong, tanong ng tanong. Nung araw kasi, nakakahiyang magtanong. Baka isipin nila, bobo ako. Eh ngayon, pag hindi ka nagtatanong, confirm na bobo ka na. Guys, let me have a time check. Good afternoon, everybody. Look at the person beside you and say, good afternoon. So, meron po akong mga questions sa inyo. Are you learning? Are you enjoying your time now? Raise up your right hand. We'll start the ball rolling. Kanan po yung right, kanan. Yes. Gently tap the shoulder of the person to your right. Look at that person and say, grabe, ang dami ko nang natutunan. Kaliwang kamay naman po. Kaliwang kamay. Tap the shoulder person to your left. Look at that person and say, kahit wala akong naintindihan. Alam mo, kanina sa backstage, nakikinig po ako kay Doc Atoy. Sabi ko, naku, nasira na yung appetite ko. But the reality is, all health situations come from here. If you can zip this up and you have a good active lifestyle, then you can be healthy. My question now is, how do we create health for our approach, especially in the field of business? Yan po ang pag-uusapan natin ngayong gabi. Are you excited to learn? Yes. And I want to thank you for having me, and most especially, pagtawag ni Chinkitan, Ninong, we want you there, siyempre okay agad ako. Basta sinabi ni Chinky, sunod agad ako niyan. So, I love doing business. And because business carries all the drama. Mas maraming drama po sa negosyo kaysa sa K-pop, K-drama. Sabi nga nila, buhay parang movies yan. If you are sad, that's what? Drama. If you're angry, that's action. If you're afraid, that's suspense. If you look at the person beside you, that's horror. Yan po. Pagdating sa negosyo, lahat ng elemento nandyan yan. Now, I love doing business. I've been in business, so a little bit of my personal introduction. Is that okay? This country knows me to be a speaker and a columnist and a writer and a trainer and so forth and so on. Those things I do. What they don't understand, I'm still in business. In 1985, galing po ako manufacturing. Gumagawa po kami ng jeans and jackets and shirts when there was the booming industry called RTW. Anong ibig sabihin yan? Ready to wear. And so, I invented the local jeans brand at doon po ako nakilala sa larangan ng negosyo. But I'm not sure whether you still remember the brand. So I'm gonna test you. Ito po ang clue. Ang naging model ko po nung araw, Joe Marichan at Maneuvers. How many among you are familiar with the brand I made famous called Company B? Taas sa kamay. Higher. Yan. Yung mga nagtaas po ng kamay, mga kabatchmate ko yan eh. Sabay kami nagsasalsa sa where else nung araw. Yan. And then later on, a couple of years later, together with my friend and who is now my kumpare, Ivan Yao, Ivan's company, Luzerne, practically monopolizes all this expensive Swiss luxury watch brand. And we brought in an Italian jeans brand called Replay Jeans. Now, Replay now goes to SSI, and currently, I'm very active with 2 companies as an independent director. One is a company that is sexy, kasi kilala po yung mga stores namin at brand. It's called Primary Group. You may not know the name of the company, but you certainly know our stores. We run stores like Restaurant, Travel Club, ROX, Brat Pack Support, and so on. And you probably know a lot more about our brands. we distribute the following brands. We had about 100 plus 200 brands. Don't clap, don't clap. Hindi pa tapos ang storya. Mamaya na, wala tayong time. And that's the sexy company that I'm involved with. But I'm also seated in a unsexy company because this is now called Mabuhay Vinyl. We don't do vinyl, we do chemicals. 100% Japanese-owned ngayon by the Tosho Group in cooperation with Mitsubishi. And so, nakikita ko ngayon ng movement ng negosyo, both in the industrial, also in retail. I see the changes in consumer behavior. I see the changes in your behavior. So, let me present to you what the business landscape, economic landscape, disruptions, opportunities are as you enter into business. Would that interest you? Okay, so may dagdag na bayad po yan. On your way out, GCash mo na lang. So, here are the key. Everything, everywhere, all at once. That is the winning movie that garnered the best movie in Oscars Awards 2 years ago, that garnered the coveted Best Actress Award kay Michelle Yeoh. But that is exactly what every business owner now is feeling. Ito mga pagbabagong nangyayari ngayon ay hinihit kami, tinitira kami from up, from bottom, down, left and right. As a matter of fact, we've lost brands. Ang mga brands namin napunta, hindi dahil sa hindi kami magaling dyan, pero ang lakas ng kita, pero nawawala kami ng brand. Bakit? 3 countries are entering. Number 1, Indonesia is extremely aggressive. Number 2, India is very aggressive. Number 3, UAE. Pumapasok na po. If you're familiar with a company called Planet Sports, are you familiar? That's 100% Indonesian na. Are you familiar with a local brand called Splash? That's Indian. Naging client ko nga kaya Indian sa kausap ko. So, the competition now and the space of the fierce fight in competition is getting intense. Next, the world is even changing. So, the world is not just changing, even change is changing. I've been in this planet for so many years. I've never seen the way change has accelerated that offers a lot of challenges, but offers a lot of opportunities as well. Nakikita ko yung mga opportunity niyan. What you and I are now experiencing is what is called chronic instability. External shocks and uncertainty are the new normal for business. The world is very unpredictable. Sino po sa inyo mahilig manood ng news? Taas ang kamay. I have to apologize. Napaka-ignoramos ko po pagdating sa artista, basketballista, boksingero. Hindi ko hilig yan eh. Pero ako laging nakadikit ako sa news. Meron nga akong leadership seminar na ginagawa eh. Sabi ko dun sa participant ko, you're so pretty and you're so talented. You should be in showbiz. Ang sagot niya sa I already am. Sikat pala yan, hindi ko alam. Kasi hindi ko line yun eh. Para sa akin, entertainment, yeah, that's good. Pero I don't want to waste my time. Hindi naman waste for a lot of people, but I'd like to invest my time in news. So ang favorite TV ko ay Bloomberg. Sa Bloomberg, favorite newscaster ko itong mamang to. His name is David Ingles. One time, while he was interviewing former BSP Governor Ben Diokno, sabi niya, Gov, Pinoy po ako. He broke in Filipino. Pinoy pala yan. Galing. And then one time, as he was looking at his partner, they were both laughing and they were smiling. Sabi nila, wala ka ba napapansin? Lahat ng in-invite nating SMEs, SMEs meaning subject matter expert, not just small, medium enterprise, yung mga chief na mga chip companies like BlackRock, at yung mga JP Morgan, lahat sila, yung mga billionaires in US dollars, whenever you ask them questions like, what are your projections for the rest of the year, no one can give you a definitive answer. Everybody was intermittent. Walang confidence eh. Bakit? Pag tinanong mo ako, ano bang projection ko? Sasabihin ko sa'yo, ito ang nakikita ko. Pagkatapos biglang magkakaroon ng gyera sa Middle East, biglang magkakaroon ng assassination attempt. Somewhere, sirang-sira sila sa projection. Are you getting me? Masisira ang credibility nila. No one had the confidence. The only people who were confident and cocksure were the feng shui expert. Sila lang ang sigurado. We are now entering the year of the wooden cockroach. Yung mga ganyan. Sino po ang pinakasikat na feng shui master sa Pilipinas? Hindi na ako magbabanggit kung sino, pero hindi niyo siguro naalala. There was a time when I had a permanent segment in ABS-CBN's top morning show called Tumagang Kay Ganda. Doon ko siya nakakilala. Aba, pagpasok ko sa kwarto, sabi ko, kilala ko to ah. Hey! What are you doing here? Sabi sa akin, to attend your seminar. Sabi ko, why? Sabi niya, I want to learn. Kita mo na, the guy who knows the future still wants to learn. Ikaw pa, tsaka ako. Diba? Pati sila uncertain. They are so certain with their predictions, yet they miss the biggest swan event, the biggest black swan event in the history of human history, which is what? COVID-19. Diba? Wala eh. Nasira pati credibility nila. But they're trying to make a comeback. What's happening right now, change hits us in every place. So it's very difficult now for us to use the past to extrapolate the future. Yung mga business plan, ayan, malapit na naman tayo pumasok sa business strategic planning session yan. Season na ngayon yan. Yung mga corporate clients ko, yan na, naghahanda na. Ang hirap. Alam mo nung araw, so how much did we make? We sold 2.5 million. Okay, let's extrapolate from what we learned in the past. Let's project at 10%. Hindi nangyayari yan. A lot of them miss their targets. And the reality is that doing business now is very difficult. Maraming companies may growth, pero may decline. The decline is there. They won't tell you, but I'm telling you, right? And I happen to know why. I remember talking to he's one of the DMCI owners, and he says, Francis, bakit ba marami kang alam din sa negosyo? Sabi ko, sir, my middle name is Marites. Alam ko yung mga nangyayari sa negosyo. There are, if you're in business, 4 na bagay po, and I don't care whether you are conglomerate or you are startup or you are middle-sized business, 4 na area ang sisilipin mo yan. Pag-aaralan mo yan. Number 1, finance. Finance. Lahat ng board meeting namin, yan ang pinaka-center. How many of you are in finance? Taas ang kamay. Next question, how many of you are managing the money of your business? Taas ang kamay. Karamihan mga wives to eh, di ba? Yeah. You know, normally my wife should be with me and we're supposed to celebrate our 44th wedding anniversary this September. Don't clap, you don't know the story. We met each other in high school sweetheart kaya. 9 years ang engagement namin bago kami nag-asawa. Kilala ni Chinky yan. And then, you know what? I can't live without her. Ask me why. She has total control over my finances. The Lord did not only bless me with a woman who graduated from an accountancy course in University of Santo Tomas. She is from Ilocos. May mga Ilocano ba rito? Taas ang kamay. Yan. So, for the 53 years of our existence, the only Ilocano I've learned from her is awanti kwarta. Tapos, di ba? Tapos. Teka muna, sino ba ang malakas gumastos? Lalaki o babae? Babae. Oo. Pero yung pinaggagastusan nila, maliit lang. Chopstick, di ba? Yung mga ano. Yung lalaki minsan lang gumastos, telebisyon, kotse, di ba? Ganun lang naman yan. And so, number 1, finance. Sisilipin mo yan. Now, I trained the top leaders of the top accounting firm. And then I said, numbers do not lie, correct? I said, no, numbers lie. Depends on how you interpret the numbers. Kaya may kasabihan, you choke the statistics, it will confess. Depende yan. Kasi may mga tao nakatingin nga sa numbers, pero gusto pa rin nila ipilit yung kanilang paniniwala eh. So, very hard to train. Number 2, operational efficiency. Before the pandemic, we had about 400 brick and mortar stores, not only in the Philippines, but also in Southeast Asia. Now, we have reduced that to only about 249, cautiously opening 10 more stores. Our revenues have caught up with our revenues in 2019 before the pandemic. Is that a ground for celebration? Yeah, but we hated it. Alam mo bakit? It took a crisis to reveal to us na marami kaming waldas. There was a lot of wastage. Ngayon, we could have done even more. Hindi lang kami maingat. So, yung operations, so how many among you are starting your business? Taas ang kamay. Yan. So, pag nag-uumpisa ka pa lang sa business, saan ka nakatutok? Benta. Pero hindi ka makakapag-scale at hindi yung sustainable ang business mo kung hindi mo inaalagaan yung back-end mo. Dito ka kumikita, doon lumulusot. Sino sa inyo ninakawan na sa business? Taas ang kamay. O, kita mo, mas marami pa. Kahit yung iba, wala sa business, ninakawan din eh. Diba? That is because of operational inefficiency. Tanong, ang sweldo ba tumataas o hindi? Tumataas. That is the reason why, nung araw, ang yabang namin nung araw, ilan ba yung empleyado mo? 2,000. Ikaw, 4,000. Ngayon, pag sinabing, ilan ang empleyado mo? 1,000. Oh, kaawaan ka ng Diyos. Di ba? And that's also the reason why, you know, for the past 6 years, I've been saying this. Any repetitive work will be automated. And it's happening now, isn't it? Kaya we have to talk about technology din. Next, human capital. This is where I operate. The owner of this one, this is also my client. Halos lahat mga malalaking company naging client ko na. Iisa lang ang problema nila, tao. Correct? Di ba tao rin ang problema nyo? Kumuha ka nga na magaling, pero hindi naman pwedeng pagkatiwalaan. Ito naman pwedeng pagkatiwalaan, bobo naman. Hirap. Next, market potential and disruption. Oh my, you got to know what the disruptions are. Generally speaking, there are 4 major disruptions that's happening now that's affecting your business, my business, your career, my career, in our family. What are they? Number 1, economic, social, geopolitical disruption. Ito, hindi ako nagbibiro ha. We have to pray. Manalangin tayo. We have to pray that no untoward incident will happen in the South China Sea because that can spark a war. We don't need that. We are peace-loving people. We don't need that. We have wars inside our homes. We don't need that. And so, I'm very active with the Philippine Air Force. I chair their family resilience. Matagal na namin pinag-usapan. 3.5 years ago, our overall chair was seconded. Ginawa siyang Secretary of Defense. Now it's being... Our vice chair is Nieves Confessor, and our chair now is Ned Coseco. We've been talking about this. Sana wag mangyari. Ito, malapit na nga. Naputulan nga ng daliri. Do you know the story? We don't need that. We have to pray. Next. The next disruption is, of course, technology disruption. So what is that? Technology disruption, meaning to say, oh, by the way, this is the only year where in 50 countries are running their elections. And we ain't seen nothing yet. Eto na, paingay ng paingay at padrama ng padrama ngayon ng Amerika habang lumalapit ngayon ng November. They are greatly polarized. Sabi nga sa akin ng American pastor namin, Francis, there's no longer middle. It's either you are extreme left or you are extreme right. So, next, technology advancements. We are now entering, look, marami mga speakers nagsasabi, we are now entering IR4 or Industrial Revolution 4. Let me give you in a nutshell. Are you guys okay? Yes. Wala pa ako sa kalahati ng introduction ko, ha? Okay ba? Oh. The civilization began with agriculture. Pagdating sa agriculture nung araw, Ano ang main mover ng business? Muscles. Pagpasok ngayon ng steam power, that ushers in Industrial Revolution 1. And then Industrial Revolution 2 ushers in mechanization, mass production. Electricity turned night into day. Doon na uso yung 3 ships production. And then IR4 is the fusion now of the internet, digital, and so forth and so on. Pero kukunti pang nakakalam. Papasok na tayo sa IR5. What is IR5? IR5 is the fusion of humans together with technology. Let me explain why. My wife suffered a stroke noong June 10. She's still in the hospital now. Nakakita na ba kayo ng stroke victim na spastic ang tawag dyan, hindi makagalaw? That is because kulang sa rehab, yung iba grabe ang tama. So we have to make sure na kahit na hindi siya makagalaw, nakahiga lang, gumagalaw yung mga joints and muscles. So my daughter immediately bought an e-glove. Pagsuot ng glove, automatic gumagalaw yan. No? Dumating ngayon ng mga doctor. These are the best doctors in St. Luke's sa BGC. Pagpasok sa mida, what's that? Where did you buy that? Oh, tinignan, kinunan ng photo, di ba? Nakita ng daughter ko na bumili na. Sabi na, where did you buy that? Proudly, my daughter said, Shopee. 1,200 lang. Pati yung doktor kuha-kuha. That's just part of it. Kaya ako, tinitignan ko ngayon itong si Elon Musk with this Neuralink. He's putting a chip in our brains that can Siyempre, every technology breakthrough is to help Parkinson's, to help Alzheimer, so that you'll have acceptance. But immediately, lahat ng content and memory mo, ida-download niyan. I don't want that to happen to me, would you? But we never know. So, technology. Next, ito ang isang bagay na climate change, of course. Super typhoons used to happen once every many years. Ngayon, parang lahat ng typhoon super. And when a super typhoon hits us, it hits us at the very core of our economy, which is rising up inflation, which is food supply. Next, ito para sa negosyo natin, dapat kita natin to demographics disruption. Hindi napapansin ng mga tao to. Sociologists and experts will say demographic is drama in slow motion. Di mo lang nahalata, it will hit you. In the corporate world, this is hitting them. Yung mga may edad, mag-e-exit na. Yung mga Gen Z, pumapasok na. Yung gitna, wala. So the succession plan is going to be a very big issue. Kaya kung kailan gusto ko na mag-retire, dumadami tuloy ang aking mga projects to conduct crash course on leadership to prepare them. So, let me just give you one good example kung ano yung demographic disruption. I belong to the boomer generation. Boomers are people born between 1946 to 1960. Meron ba akong kabatch dito, boomer? Pinanganak ng 1946 to 1960? Ayan, meron din. Next question, meron bang mga mukhang boomer dito? Meron. Okay. Huwag kang magtaas ng kamay. Next. After the boomer generation, what comes next? Generation X. Generation X are people born between 1960 to 1980. Sino yan? Marami dito yan. Taas ang kamay. Higher. If you belong to Gen X, your generation is the most difficult generation to manage. Ask me why. You are the most suspicious generation of them all. If you don't believe me, let me ask you a question. Ano po ang pinakasikat ng American television series that sociologists and experts and behaviorists would say accurately capture the personality and the behavior and the attitude of Gen X? Can anybody guess? Anong television series sa US? Friends? No. We don't have time. Pakiplay lang yung soundtrack. Ano yan? X-Files. Kaya nga suspicious kayo . Pag-aralan mo, yung dalawang Gen X nag-uusap, ganito sila mag-usap, pare, huwag kang magtiwala doon sa katabi mo, baka alien yan, di ba? What comes after Gen X? These are the millennials. These are born between 1980 to year 2000. Sino yan? Marami yan. Taas ang kamay. I've got good news for you and not so good news. Which one do you want to hear first? The not so good news is the millennials are getting old. Ang bata-bata kayo, pinagtatawanan niyo ako. Ngayon, ginukopya niyo na ako. The good news is that the millennials are now in strategic positions for leadership. Kayo na yan eh. And who now belong to Gen Z. Gen Z, technically speaking, ang mga pinanganak 1995 onwards. Taas ang kamay. Yan. Yan mga Gen Z na yan, they drive all generations crazy. They cannot understand them. Paano mo malalaman yung millennial from Gen Z? Simple. Medyas. Yung Gen Z, matataas ang medyas. Di ba? Now, tignan mo kung ano yung pakakaiba. When the Gen Xers were young people entering the workplace, I started training already. Ganun na ako katagal sa industriya. Sanay na ako ngayon. May lumalapit sa akin, Sir Francis, actually, this is not my first time to hear you speak. Sabi ko, oh, really? Is that right? When was the first time? When I was in elementary, shut up, get away from me. So I was training the Gen Xers when they were young. Ang complaint namin mga boomers, ito mga batang to, referring to the Gen X young people, ito mga batang to, mga bastos. Bakit? Pag nagre-resign sila, hindi nila sinusundan yung 30-day formal notice tsaka 15-day turnover. Yung mga Gen Xers naman na may hawak sa millennials, sabi nila, ito mga batang to, napakabastos. Bakit pag nagre-resign sila, SMS na lang tsaka email? Kaya yung mga millennials na may hawak sa Gen Z, sabi na ito mga batang to, pinakabastos sa lahat. Bakit? Pag nagre-resign sila, they ghost you. Things are changing. And so, where does that put you and me? I'm sure I don't have enough time, so I'm going to jump from one topic to another and just figure out the things that will fit you the most important thing. No matter what generations you are, you and I need to learn. We have to continue learning pa rin. How many of you suffered when COVID-19 happened? Taas ang kamay. Yan. But COVID-19 opened up a whole new world of entrepreneurship. Dahil sa COVID-19, pwede pala ako magnegosyo. Ang clients ko sa corporate na problema. Kasi maraming mga bata ayaw nang pumasok sa corporate. Kumikita eh. Yung mga ibang magulang hindi pa naintindihan. Ang complaint sa akin, Francis, pwede ba? Influensya mo naman yung anak ko. Sabi ko, bakit? Ayaw magtrabaho, ayaw mag-apply. Anong ginagawa? Lagi na lang nasa laptop. Di ba? Sabi ko, mas malaki ang kinikita niya kaysa sa'yo. Hindi mo lang alam. Things begin changing. And the pandemic brought about change. Ito yung opening statement ko last May 15 when I ran my public seminar. 600 people came. Sabi ko, after the pandemic, everybody will turn different. Different. Even my clientele nagbago rin. Lahat nagbago. So what does that mean? You and I will have to continue to learn. Hindi na po pwede ito yung panahon na nagsasabi, matagal na ako rito. Sa corporate, meron yan. 25 years na ako rito. Tuturuan mo pa ako? Sabi ko, kaya nga dapat turuan kayo kasi 25 years na kayo eh. I don't even understand. Now, I'm going to talk to you about two kinds of learning. One is called active learning. The other one is called passive learning. What is active learning? Active learning is this. Most of us went through that. Ito yan. Pasok ka sa university. Ito yung building ng architecture, ito yung engineering, ito yung commerce, ito yung social sciences, ito yung medical sciences. So yan ang active learning. Pag pumasok ka in your particular field, nandiyan ka. Today, life does not operate that way. There's an interconnection of every field and discipline. There's learning that we can get from different fields. So let me ask you a question. May kilala ho ba kayo mga kaibigan na laging consistent honor roll student nung nasa high school sila o college? Meron? We hate those people, don't we? Diba? Predictable yan. Every semester, ito na naman ang first honor, yan na naman. So I had this conversation with Dr. Adam Grant. And Adam Grant says, you gotta figure out kung bakit sila laging top first honor. Alam mo kung bakit laging first honor sila? Meron silang template. Ano yung template na yan? Kailangan gumising na maaga, habang nag-aalmusal, nagre-review na ako, pagsakay ko sa kotse, nagre-review, pagpasok sa eskwela, dire-diretso ako saan? Saan? Maaga sa library, review ako. Itong teacher na to, teacher's pet ako, no problem. Itong teachers na to, may problema, sisip-sip pa ako. May template yan eh. Yung mga rebelde, repeater, yung mga baksak, walang template yan. Diskarte lang ng diskarte yan. Di ba? So, pag sinabi mo sa kanya, what's your name, sir? Angelo. Halimbawa, si Angelo, walang template yan. Pag sinabi mo, Angelo, ano? Finance na bukas. Ano? Bukas? Bukas na ba? Magdi-discarte na yan, di ba? So, after 4 years, after what? 8 years, labas na sa college, nag-valedictory address pa yan, pagtapak niya into the world, walang template. Eh yung rebelde, yung siraulo, yung repeater, pagtapak ngayon sa mundo, natural environment nila yan. Sino sa inyo baksak nung araw? Taas ang kamay. O, kita mo, umamin, umamin. That's the story. Now, watch this. The reason why the top honor students did not do well now is they are afraid to take risk. Okay ba yun? Pero you should see yung mga negosyanteng kilala ko na super billionaires na hindi nga nakapagtapos pa ng high school yung iba eh. Grabe sila sa passive learning. What is passive learning? You learn from everything. Yung curiosity at wonder mo, hindi nawawala. Ang kulit-kulit na mga yan. Tanong ng tanong, tanong ng tanong, tanong ng tanong. Always curious because that guy, as an entrepreneur, is always seeking for opportunity. Are you with me? Nung araw kasi, nakakahiyang magtanong. Baka isipin nila, bobo ako. Eh ngayon, pag hindi ka nagtatanong, confirm na bobo ka na talaga. You have to ask. Now, but you have to be careful. Passive learning means, darating na Olympics, meron kang matututunan na leadership lessons sa sports eh. Let me give you an example. What is the highest award given in an Olympic tournament? What is the highest award? Overall highest award, it's not gold. Gold is a dime a dozen. The highest award is called Rupert Cooperton Award. The guy who started Olympics, that is for the best display of sportsmanship in team, whether that person wins or not. Some people don't even know it. But when you begin to understand, nga pala, Olympics is not just about winning, it's about how you play the game. So you begin to learn things, and you can use that in business. When I was in garments, tinanong ko yung designer namin, sabi ko, ba't ang ganda ng ating collection ng summer colors? Ang sagot sa akin, I was 30 years old. He was 60 years old. Sabi na, boy, upo ka. Yes, sir. Alam mo yung mga matatanda, iniiwasan ng mga bata nung araw. Kasi yung mga matatanda, nakakalimutan niya yung mga storya nila. Diba? Uulit-ulitin yung story. So umiiwas ngayon yung mga bata. Ako naman, pinagtsatsagaan ko yan dahil gusto ko matuto. Kaya pagka magkasama kami, sasabihin niya, alam mo, noong 1950 plus, naku, layo pa. Kasi 1985 kami, layo pa. Maraming kwento pa yan. Guess what I learned from him? Tinatanong mo nga pala kung saan ko kinuha yung mga kulay ng mga summer color na yan. I got it from tropical fish. Passive learning. When you go into the arts, you go into sports, you go into literature, basa, 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 basa. You're learning. You don't just confine yourself in active learning in your industry, but you learn about what's happening outside. You get it na? But be careful. Technology affords everybody to become an expert kahit na fake experts. Kaya, iingatan mo yan. Kasi marami mga nasa social media kung ano-ano pinagtuturo ng mga walang kakwenta-kwentang bagay. Yung iba naman nagtuturo, hindi na kailangan ng diploma. Diskarte lang. Ang problema ko dyan, yung nagtuturo ng ganyan, pag nagkaroon siya ng brain tumor, magpapa-opera pa siya sa isang brain surgeon na walang diploma pero magaling dumiskarte, di ba? Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Social commerce, the ability to sell through YouTube, online, and everything else, produces two kinds. Yung magagaling, nakafocus sa needs of the customers, innovation, back-end production, and the product. Doon siya nakafocus. Unsexy yun eh. Yung iba naman, they focus on themselves. They become the brand. And so, the advancement and the promotions becomes the person, not the business. It will not last. It will not last. Kaya they have to get desperate eh. Kasi you have to churn out content after content. Tapos you have to focus on yourself because you are the one driving the business. No, your business and your customers should be driving you, not the other way around. When you begin to lift yourself up more than the business and the customers, you're going to be in trouble. Hindi sustainable po yan. One thing I learned from the great business philosopher Jim Rohn was this. I mean, formal education, active learning, can earn you a living. But self-education can earn you a fortune. Sabi naman ng iba, so ano ang gamit ngayon na pag-aaral? And true enough, maraming mga bagay na tinuturo ngayon masyadong obsolete na. I graduated top in my school. Kaklase ko pala yung, kaskwela ko pala yung host natin. I graduated top in my school. I took up business. Kung ginamit ko sa mga negosyo ko ngayon, yung napag-aralan ko nung araw, matagal na kami naksara. Some information will turn out obsolete. So what's the use of going to school now? They still don't get it. The reason why we go to school is to learn how to unlearn and how to learn. The development of the discipline of study, kaya kung puro copy, cut, paste lang, they missed it. It's learning how to do research, how to interact with people and everything else. Now, here's the funny thing. Can I share something personal with you? Can you promise me after I say this, you will keep it to yourself? Pag kumalat sa labas yan, siguradong galing sa inyo yan. Ha? So, it took me 6 years to finish high school. Yan. Tinalo lang ako ni Chinky eh. Sa kanya, 7 years eh. So, it took me 6 years to finish high school. O bakit? Mabilis ako ma-board eh. I'm more of a creative guy eh. Pag mahina mag-lecture yung teacher, wala na, zoned out na ako. And so, the woman who will become my wife one day, she was in first year high school. I was second year high school. When we both became second year high school, I waited for her. Wala baksak, di ba? Third year, she graduated. Fourth year, she went to UST. I decided to review my subjects again. Di ba? Repeater. Pagpasok ko ngayon sa college, I said, napakabobo ko talaga. Ako rin pala ang nawalan. Kaya ako bumawi sa college dahil sa tinding kahihiyan. But I discovered the way. Yung wife ko, marami siyang mga auntie galing China. Ang liliit na mga yan. Pero ang iingay. Nag-emergency meeting ba naman sila? Ako yung agenda. They were convincing my wife to leave, my girlfriend then to leave me. Sabi niya, how are you gonna give your entire life to a loser who can't even pass high school? So, you don't blame them. They met good, di ba? Pero ngayon, yung iba, buhay pa yung iba. Yung iba, pag nakikita ko, Francis, we're so proud of you. Bugin ko kaya itong mga ito. Para makabawi, I went to college. I decided to do something I've never done before in my life. I studied. Sumikat ako sa Garments, Company B. Ang unang trabaho ko, takabihis ako ng mannequin sa show window. So what? Wala namang hanap buhay na nakakahiya. Di ka naman nagnanakaw. That's why Rubina Gokong Way and Hardly See would laugh and say, I remember you were still fixing my mother's window in Ermita, and now we're listening to you. The thing that changed my entire life is 3 of them. Number 1, Zig Ziglar. Number 2, Dennis Waitby, who now becomes my friend and my mentor. And number 3, that's Jim Rohn. Changed my entire life. Wala akong pera. I will talk to the Ilocana and say, kailangan ko yung books. Books at that time was 600, 800 pesos. We can't even buy snacks sa sobrang higpit ng budget. Pero when it comes to books, release siya ng budget. Tapos siya naman na magsasacrifice. Kaya importante sa negosyo, yung husband and wife are supportive of each other. How many mo you are with your wife now and with your husband? Yeah. Next question. How many among you are married? Taas ang kamay. How many among you are happy? Nabawasan. There's got to be support from each other. Huh? So, 7 minutes na lang siguro. What you and I need to do is to make sure that you get mentoring, you get proper education, you get the right information, but guess, I train the top executives of different companies. Here's my conclusion. I cannot teach anyone. I cannot make people learn. I can only teach. Let me repeat that. I cannot make people learn. I can only teach. Kaya nga, may usapan sa Amerika. In English, it goes this way. When the student is ready, the teacher appears. Kaya in my seminars, there are 2 kinds of people. One kind of them would say, "Oh, alam ko na yan. Wala naman bagong tinuro. I've heard that before." Sure. The other one would say, "Dami tinuro, paano ko maalala lahat? But if I can just work on 1 or 2 things that I've learned, it will radically change the quality of my life. It's worth the investment." Kuha? And by the way, ang sagot ko dun sa una, kahit na narinig mo na, pero kung hindi mo naman pinapractice, bago pa rin sa iyo, bugoy ka. You get it? So, while you're networking here in this organization, make sure that you attend seminars and education and learning, and you read books, and stay away from those crazy people in LinkedIn and also social media na puro, di naman kailangan mag-aaral, 19 years old lang ako, milyonaryo na ako. Mga ganon. Gusto mo ba maging milyonaryo? Open-minded ka ba? Yung power, deodorant, di ba? I never, in my seminars, say, have an open mind. I will never say that. You know why? If your mind is too open, your brains will fall out. What you and I should learn is critical thinking, ability to control our emotions, mastery of the basics. Ito ang pinakamahalaga. A firm stand on values and ethics. Yung values and ethics, hindi nagbabago yan. Your skills and your talents can propel you to the top, but only integrity can keep you there, or else you will collapse. I was in Dubai. I'm a regular in Dubai. At first, it was the local companies that invite me. Now, it's the Emirati government. Sabi sa akin ng katabi ko, sabi na, "Sir Francis, dapat makinig kayo dito." Sabi ko, "Sino siya?" "Oh, ay sir, pinagmamalaki namin mga Pilipino community rito." Sabi ko, "Bakit?" "Siya ang kauna-unahang Pinoy na nakabili ng Ferrari." Sabi ko, and so? I've got billionaire friends whose garages are full of luxury cars, pero hindi naman nila ginaganon yon. Tsaka besides, hindi na naintindihan. You want to drive Ferrari in EDSA? Use our brains, reason, because business is very logical. Doing business necessitates logic. Hindi puro emotions. Kung puro emotions, nababaksak ka, maniwala ka. So that's what we should do. Let me conclude by saying this. At the end of the day, whether you are in music, whether you are in business or not, I've spent so many years in this decaying planet. I kind of know what I'm talking about. Marami mga billionaires na lumalapit sa akin humingi ng advice. They are not happy. The saddest words you can hear from people, I don't care how much money they have, are the words, what's the meaning to all of this? Bakit nila ako ginaganon? Don't they know I'm doing this for them? Sabi ko, no, pare. You might have been doing this for you. And then they will say, I've given them everything that they need. What else do they want from me? Sabi ko, you have. But you have not given them the things that they want. They want you, not just the money that you're giving them. Na-compromise eh. Yung iba naman, paminsan-minsan, nahihirapan sa pera, masaya naman. You know why? They know how to express gratitude. Ay, yung iba, kahit wala pang masyadong pera, kasi hindi pa nababasa yung libro ni Chinkitan, pero pupunta rin dyan, they know how to cultivate an attitude of gratitude. So the happiest people are those who understand the blessings that they have and appreciate it. My wife and I, we have a strong relationship. Kami nga ang model eh. Kasi kahit saan ako magpunta, kasama siya. When she had this stroke, it made me realize I have not given her more love that she deserves. And just when that life is about to be taken away, that's when we begin to appreciate. Oh, the Lord has blessed us with so many things. The only challenge is, are we in a position to give thanks and to enjoy and appreciate the blessing? We have to. Will you agree with me if I say, ang pinaka-miserableng tao sa buong mundo, yung mga swapang? Agree? Oo. May kilala ba kayong mga saksakan ng swapang? Kasama niyo ba ngayon? Bigyan mo sa akin ng pangalan, ayusin natin yan. The swaps are centered on the self, and the self is the hardest to satisfy. Pero yung mga masaya, their focus is on others. Serving, helping, and then sharing. And the more they do, the more they get. That's the reality behind this. Thank you very much for having me.